Hello, beautiful people. I trust you are having a fairly good day today. I wanted to record this to try and bring a little bit of clarity and understanding to some of the things I think you are probably feeling today. Let's begin with maybe the last 24 hours or maybe the last 48 hours. How have you been feeling? Have you been feeling like maybe the world is starting to close in on you a little bit? Have you been feeling the pressure of things related to finances and money, or the roof over your head, or the purpose work you're trying to do, or your kids, or the family, or have you been feeling any of this? Okay, so we are at this point hours away from this big next and final eclipse of October. And if you are like anybody else on the planet who is really, on a journey, then you're feeling all kinds of stuff right now. It's feeling heavy. It's feeling familiar, meaning the themes that are coming up for you are probably themes that you've been playing with maybe your whole life, or maybe themes that you knew you played with a while ago, earlier in your life, and now they're just like coming back full force. Anybody feeling like that? Okay, so I just wanted to speak to some of this because I've been talking to quite a few people over the last few days, and it's been a little unnerving for a lot of folks. And I just want to, first of all, say, don't worry, it will be over soon. So, wherever you are and whatever it is that you are dealing with, whether it is money and financial pressure, or it's partner and relationship stuff, or it is more family dynamics, or other things, that whatever it is that's coming up for you, a lot of it is like root chakra sort of experiences, right? Things to do with our being able to survive and sustain ourselves and feeling stable and feeling confident, all these things, right? If you're feeling any of it, it is very, very intentional from a higher perspective. We're going through this phase right now, which is all about refinement, purification, and bringing to the surface all of these fragmented aspects of ourselves that is not a true expression of who we are. It's not the real us that is shining through, that's trying to warn us about things. No, it's the complete opposite. What's coming through now is fragmented ego expressions, fragmented thought structures that are all from the old world that we're leaving behind. It's from that old part of you, the old life, or your first life, as I like to refer to it as, that is no longer resonant with where you're headed, with where you're going, with who you are becoming. And so if you are having experiences like feeling emotionally unsettled or emotionally distressed or stressed in general, but not necessarily having a lot of the thoughts behind them, this is a great indication that you are experiencing this purge. If you are noticing that the orchestrations, the situations that you're faced with are kind of like compounding. Like it's not just one thing that you're dealing with, but it's also this, it's also this, it's also this. And then there's the added pressure of time and feeling like, okay, I could handle one of these things at a time, or maybe two, but then you add the three together or the four, and then add the whole framework of time into the mix, and now it feels like, okay, I feel officially pressured. Welcome to the club. This is all part of what is intentionally going on, and at a soul level is like the best thing ever, because when you add the element of time to any kind of perceived limitation or restriction, what does it do? It amplifies it. And so I want to say pretty much the whole year has been this theme of bringing to light things that are no longer going to be supported in terms of our identity, in terms of how we are perceiving the reality around us, in terms of how we are creating our reality moving forward, and just our experience of being human. So these things that are coming up that feel like fear, that feel like frustration, that feel like I'm trapped, I can't get out of this, that feels like I'm in a rut, like I can't seem to break out of this feeling of stagnancy. They're coming to the surface to be expelled. And there's a lot of different ways that that happens. And I've been having these conversations in some of the circles that I'm involved with, that I lead, etc. And the themes are all the same. So I first want to say that you're not alone. Like whatever it is that you're feeling that feels like, oh my gosh, like I'm embarrassed, like I'm feeling so fearful right now, or unsteady, or insecure, whatever it is, and you feel like, wow, compared to everyone else in your world, you seem like you're the only one that's struggling. You're not. Just take my word for it. You are not. Everyone is having their own dose of this because we need to. There is this period of between September, the equinox that was taking place in September, and moving now through October and November up to December with the winter solstice. It's a very potent preparatory time. We are exiting 2023, which is the first year really of being in this organic matrix. And it's the first year with anything, right? The first few days or few moments of experience with anything, it's sometimes wobbly. So as much as it's the first year that we are being able to experience this new earth, this new Eden, this new way of living on the planet, it's definitely not fully anchored and secured, right? It's like as soon as you take possession of a brand new house, what do? Do you just immediately move all your stuff in? And it's like, yay? No. What's the first thing you do when you move into a brand new space? You generally do a deep cleaning, right? Even though the house may be left nice and neat, it's in our nature, most of us would go and, okay, we'll do a deep clean of the cupboards because I want to put my things, the things that are me, really me, and that I'm bringing into this new chapter of my life. I want to put those in the cupboards, and I want it to be clean of the debris of whoever may have lived there before. Or if it's new construction, even more. Even if someone's not lived in that new house, what do? It's covered in construction dust, always. So the first thing moving into any space is about cleaning and clearing, because that is the only way to begin fresh and new and bring your own energy in. We all do it. So this period is like that. This period is it's like a combination of moving into a new house, brand new construction, because of all the construction dust and everything, and sometimes the construction debris is still left in parts of your yard, or I've seen them in cupboards, 2x4s, and God knows what else in there. And moving into a house that was occupied by somebody else. We have both happening right now. So we have the remnants of the construction of the new that feels kind of wobbly, feels out of place, it feels cluttered. And then we have the clearing out of what we were living with in these bodies, on this planet, in your space, and being able to clear all of that. And we don't have a choice. This is the thing. It's not something that you can delay and put off or just avoid. Because when you try to do that, have you noticed what happens? We are no longer can just put our heads in the sand and forget about things or hide from things. This is a time that all of those things that you may have been hiding from, ignoring, choosing not to see, I think that's ignoring. Any of that stuff is going to hit you like a ton of bricks. Any of it. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's relationship based, if it's you standing in your, quote, power, if it's you being able to speak when you have normally kept quiet and just kept everything inside and just like silently burning up, you can't do it anymore. So first and foremost, know that you're not alone when going through this. We're all being rebirthed through this chapter. And I say it to the winter solstice because the winter solstice is really like it's a transitionary point for us as we exit 2023, because going into 2024 is going to be the first year where this organic, natural, authentic way of being for the planet, for us as humans, is really going to be fixed. Fixed meaning more anchored. So we are in a very, very potent phase of transformation, personal transformation inside and out. And so what comes with that, it's like any kind of deep clean. It takes some elbow grease, and you usually have to work up a bit of a sweat, and it takes a little bit of work. And so that's what we're going through right now. So how does that translate into our personal experiences? Having elbow grease and working. Okay. Part of it is going to be simply being able to keep yourself steady and have control over your mind. The mind right now, the ego specifically is what I'm talking to, the ego or the lower mind, is in its last attempts to regain control over your perception and then over your actions and behaviors and ways of being and expressing yourself or not. So what you'll notice is that these fragments of emotional response or simply just energetic feelings within you will be kind of like a roller coaster. One moment you may be feeling like, oh, so elated. Maybe a song, you hear something on Spotify or whatever you're listening to, and you're like, oh my God, that's just so speaking to me. And it can take you on this beautiful high. Ride those waves and enjoy those deeply. Immerse yourself in it. Celebrate it and enjoy every single one of those moments, first of all. Because what's happening there is you are attuning to this higher expression of yourself on a cellular level. The physical body is stepping into this higher expression in those moments and doing its job of upgrading to this new template. The new blueprinting, okay, the new organic template of the human vessel, as well as Gaia's template, which we are intertwined and one. But when those moments show up for you, step into them fully, because you are, in a sense, you are doing work then, because you are allowing your physical body, the vessel that your consciousness is flowing through, to upgrade itself energetically as well as physically, so that the rest of your experience in the days and weeks and months ahead will feel and flow more naturally. So those moments are very important, very intentional, and necessary as far as our experience going through this upgrade period. The other thing is when you are feeling something like the unsettled feelings. And sometimes this happens in the middle of the night too, where you'll wake, and the last few nights have been crazy, like the amount of dream time that's happening. And these just, for everyone, it's a bit different, but a lot of the time it's fear-based feelings, not necessarily thoughts associated with them. When you feel any of that kind of stuff, the lower energetics, the lower expressions of feelings, physical feelings, emotions, etc., just pause. Number one, grounding is going to be super important. So yes, any opportunity to go out into nature, take it, and take more time to be in nature, especially now, like literally from now all the way till next week, going into next week, beginning, middle of next week. Just treat yourself. It's going to be so supportive and really, really part of the process. It's not something that you want to leave out, because you will feel unbalanced. You will feel less capable of maneuvering through this energy, through this time. Okay? So get out into nature, ground yourself, look up into the sky, breathe the air, get into the water if water's near you. Even if all you do is you put your feet in, it's going to be really helpful. That will dissipate the energy that is coming in, that is like squirrely through you, because that's what it feels like. It feels squirrely because it literally is. So imagine that this higher frequency energy, we won't get into that, we've talked about that before, but the energy as it comes into the physical vessel, it's higher frequency energy, higher vibrational. It's light intelligence that is moving through the system, doing what it's designed to do. It's like having a household cleaner, right? Drano, okay? You got clogged drains. Essentially, our vessels, our physical bodies, are kind of like the plumbing in your house in this moment. And what happens over time in a lot of our plumbing, it gets clogged up, right? And so what do? I don't say you do it, but a common practice is to pour something like liquid Drano when the pipes are dirty and getting clogged. To clear them out, you pour this stuff in, and this liquid Drano does its magic. It breaks down the debris that is causing the clogs and the blockages through the plumbing piping. And then once you flush it all through, what do you have? You have these really sparkling clean pipes. The water flows through with more intensity. The water is cleaner because it's not carrying all this gunk and bacteria and dirty debris contaminating the water as it goes through. No, the water that flows through those pipes then is clean and it's pure. It's more in its same natural state as it went in the pipe as when it comes out. There's no contamination or distortion of that water once it's passing through. So that's what this light is doing for us. It's the same kind of thing. It's pure, divine light that's coming into the physical vessel. And as it's moving through the body and doing its cleaning like liquid Drano, that's the part that feels uncomfortable. So you'll feel it sometimes in odd symptoms. Whether it's pressure, sometimes it's pressure in the head, different parts of the head. It can be at nighttime. A lot of us experience this kind of restless legs. For me, I experience it in restless legs, but then almost like a pressure, like it's just uncomfortable. Like I have this desire to just need my parts of my leg, just like to help break up what it is actually, it's like calcification that takes place. Not like, it is calcification. And that is very legitimately a block of the energy that's flowing through the body. So whatever it is that you're feeling physically in these times of peak energy, know that it's serving a purpose. And it's also pointing out where in your physical body you could pay a little more attention to help to remove the blocks, right? It's like relying on liquid Drano to do the whole thing yourself, or you maybe get a scrub brush in there at some point, or you do a plunger and you're helping to loosen things up and move them through more quickly. Same kind of thing with our bodies, right? So if you're noticing there's areas on your body where you are feeling discomfort while you move through these peak energy times, you'll notice it often in the full moons and the new moons, and particularly around eclipses like this, it can be extremely intense. So if that's the case, mind your body. Do what you need to do. If you're having pressure in the sinuses, great. You know that some work is happening there to upgrade probably the pituitary gland and the pineal and all kinds of things. So just be mindful what your body needs. Do you need to be steaming and inhaling some steam? Do you need to use some, what I've used is a saline solution that's in the form of a spray that just moistens the whole nasal cavity, and allow that to help support the body as your body's doing its best to catch up to the frequency of the energy that's passing through it. So what are some of the things that you've been noticing? What have you been feeling? I'd love to know. So please post them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're experiencing. A lot of people are telling me that they're feeling a lot of fatigue. Makes perfect sense. That is one of the first telltale signs that you're moving through an energetic portal that's designed to upgrade you and purge a lot of this stuff. So take the time to rest. And especially if you're having an experience like me where so many nights I find myself waking up, like the last 2 nights I was up, we went to bed at maybe 11:30, maybe 12, and I'm up by 2 a.m., 2:30, wide awake. And so then it becomes an exercise of, well, what am I doing at that hour? For me, sometimes I'll turn to meditation. If the thoughts came up, so last night, there was all kinds of random, like, just, I would call them like lack-based thoughts. They're just not authentic thoughts, and they're very fragmented, almost like I described it today to somebody saying, it feels like the image I got too was kind of like of a child, a young child, not super young, but let's just say around 6, 7, that's got this big toy box, and they are freaking out, trying to get my attention, and just throwing toys everywhere, throwing, making a mess, not doing anything really constructive except throwing things everywhere and yelling. So having a tantrum. That's kind of what these emotions that you may be feeling are a result of. It's the ego doing its best to just get your attention, do whatever it can to just force you to look at it. Follow the train of thought that it's trying to bring towards you, make you worried about your future, make you doubt your ability to support yourself, make you feel like time is not on your side, that you're going to be in a bad situation if things don't change fast, all of that stuff. So allow it to come up. And if you're feeling those things or having thoughts like that, just acknowledge it and say thank you. Why say thank you? Because anything that shows up, if you receive it that way, receive it with genuine thanks, because, why would you be thankful? Because if it's coming up at this time, it is a very, very high likelihood that it is going to be dissolved very easily, and you will not have to deal with that anymore. And if you do, it will be much less. You will notice a decrease in the intensity and the power it literally has, the energetic power and the energetic pull. So be thankful. Now, if you don't do that and you get lost in the storylines that it's trying so hard to weave, it's going to feel crappy. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel like, I can't take this. You're going to feel like, how am I supposed to move through this? Like, this is the biggest cosmic joke ever. It's all within your control. Remember, we are all in our own little worlds standing in the center of our reality. We're standing in the center of everything that we're witnessing and we're experiencing. Whether or not we feel angst, fear, lack, worry, concern, you name it, when we perceive something that's happening, whether it's very close to home or somewhere further out in our reality experience, that experience, how we receive it, is entirely up to us. In fact, you will notice, if you think about it, that whatever it is that is taking place, someone phones you and tells you something. You read an email and you get news about something. You see something on social media, right? Has anything actually changed in your immediate reality when that happens? No. But we generally feel like crap after we're exposed to news, updates, or something, whatever it is, even just regular communication on our everyday lives. But the reality is that nothing is usually actually changing, except information is coming to us. We're receiving it, processing it in our minds, and then making a judgment about what that means, and then having a physical, mental, and emotional reaction based on what we made it mean. For some people, that same news may simply be like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to have to stick around a little bit longer today just to clean that up. To others, or maybe to you, it would be like, oh my God, because of everything else I have going on, now this means this, this means this, this means this. And then we start to forecast what this is going to mean to our weekend, what this is going to look like by next week. And so everything that we experience emotionally is based on how we're perceiving what's happening around us and within and between ourselves and the people that we engage with most. So be aware that what's happening externally, what's happening in your life, you actually have more control over how you feel than you realize. Yesterday, I was in an experience where I got some news, first by email, after I initiated a conversation. And then I started thinking about it, and my mind really wanted to race ahead and start telling me, oh no, if it goes like this, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to wish it never happened. And I was like, yeah, I know that story. And that's not normally how I would perceive the story. But it was interesting because I started to feel a heaviness come. And then, thank gosh, to my own higher self, something else took place. And then I started to feel more pressure. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, so now I've got this happening and this happening, which on their own No big deal, right? Just move through it. Always do. But there was a perfect storm of events that took place that left my mind. It actually got hold for a good 30 minutes. I was sort of stewing in it. And I was like, I'm feeling frustrated. And I think I'm officially getting mad. And so I allowed myself to feel those feelings. I warned my partner. I'm like, babe, I'm officially going for a bit of a ride. So bear with me. I'm going to vent. So allow yourself to let the feelings come up. Whatever means is going to feel aligned for you. For me in that moment, I just had to get them out. So I sort of said, I gave the lay of the land, like a report. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. Holy smokes, it's making me feel like this. I'm like, I know. I know that I'm venting, and I'm just going to vent. I'm going to vent for the moment. And then I went to bed and woke up in the middle of the night, had some of those thoughts coming again. And then in the moment, as I was coming out of sleep, I just received them. I was like, you know what? Thank you. Because I know why they're coming. They're coming up to be purged and cleared. And I don't want to have these feelings anymore. These is like such an old version of myself. And it's not an empowered state. It's not who I have any intentions of bringing forward into this new reality experience. So I just received it, and I was half asleep, but I did like an embrace and release process just for a moment. It was nothing fancy, and I think I probably fell asleep through half of it. So I was just like noticing the thoughts, and then, thank you, okay. And then started to just, I think I started like counting sheep or something. I do that. And then I fell back asleep. And then I woke up this morning completely clear, completely rested, and just feeling really good. Like my what it would be now for me, normal self. Like, okay, yeah, I got this going on. I got this going on. I got this going on. Most people look and say, oh my God, like, are you okay? Are you going to be all right? But in my world, it's like, yeah, of course. Yeah, it always works out, right? I can't wait to see how this comes together. All these new developments. So I was back to my old new self, right? Not the self I came in with into this planet, but the person I am now. And so that was really noticeable and really palpable. And the same thing can happen to all of us. We can have these spontaneous little like, okay, that's gone. Great. So when that happens, that when you feel that, that's what's taking place. Your whole being is recalibrating for you, and that's all that this time is. It's a rebirthing, a recalibration, and a realignment to your true coordinates. Okay? The other thing too is if you are feeling these moments of joy, or you're feeling remnants of the sticky heaviness feelings, if you tap into music, this is one thing that happened with me this morning. Oh my God. So there's a song that I heard, I was introduced to a few weeks ago, and it's called Glory Road, I believe it's called, by the Wailing Jennies. It's a Canadian band. They're bluegrass. I love bluegrass. And so I'll put the link, I think, under here so you can listen to it. But oh my God, I love that song. So the song just got to me, and hadn't listened to it in a couple of weeks. And then I noticed where I was. I was in a really good feeling place. I was just moving through my stuff this morning and chatting with one of the girls in our circle. And this song came to mind. And so I'm like, oh, okay, because we were sharing music back and forth. And so I played that song, and not more than like 1 or 2 seconds of hearing the notes, and tears felt like they were coming up from my belly all the way up through my being into my eyes. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. That was my body having or utilizing the music to purge further. So if you feel that, and you hear something or you see something and it starts to bring tears up and it doesn't logically make sense why, go with it. At times like this, it's going to be like a gift from heaven, because it's Again, it's just the body doing exactly what it knows how to do, utilizing the cells, utilizing your systems to purge, purify, cleanse, and rebalance and recalibrate you to your new higher operating system. And so I listened to that song and I sang it and the tears were going. I was like, wow. And then later, at lunchtime, I did the same thing. Something else came on and it was much more uplifting. Stay with the uplifting stuff. I highly recommend it, and it will take you even higher. So we're in a potent time, guys. I hope this has helped to give you a little bit of a better understanding of what you may be feeling and thinking and experiencing. Know that it is just temporary. Know that you came in to play with exactly what you're playing with, even if it feels like totally unfair, completely over your head, and like something that you don't even know how you're going to get yourself through. Just know that if you're playing with it, you've got the recipe to get yourself to exactly where you want to be. And this is essentially your invitation, and it's your initiation opportunity to transform yourself into who you came into this life wanting to become. There is nothing stopping you. Don't listen to your mind that's trying to tell you stories that you can't or that it's too much. You came for this. And you will only ever get as much as you can handle. And the more you lean into that and believe it and know it, the easier things begin to unfold. Holding on to the old storyline that you can't or that it's too much is simply your victim consciousness trying to get a hold. Let it go. You are not a victim. None of us are victims. You are a powerful being. You are a powerful creator. You came here to create, and the first thing you came to create was yourself. Take this opportunity to recreate yourself from the ground up, from the root up, and you will be amazed at who you end up being as you come through this channel. It's going to be a potent time. So use it. Allow yourself to lighten up. Allow yourself to move. If you feel like moving, dancing, singing, do it. The body is carrying a lot of energetics, miasma, the waste, I'll call it, the stuff that you don't need anymore. Speaking, singing, crying, dancing, moving, exercising, walking, going into the water, doing all of these things that move the body, massage, self-massage, stretching, sweating, doing things that will make your heart race, go for a little jog, speed walk, run, go on the treadmill, do cartwheels, whatever. Just do it and notice how your body feels. It's not about pushing for the sake of pushing. It's moving to move momentum. You're going to be amazed at who you come out the other end as. Look at this confirmation. I got like all these ringtones happening. You're going to be amazed. And I cannot wait to hear what this transit does for you. So please pop in the comments here. What are you experiencing? What are you noticing? Has this resonated with you? Let me know if any of this made sense to you. I hope this has helped you. It is definitely a collective journey. So yeah, let go of any idea that you are doing this on your own. You're not. It doesn't matter what it looks like on social media. Everyone is having a moment of struggle, a moment of second guessing, a moment of feeling under the pressure. And then we all, in our perfect time, come out. And when we come out the other side, we are even more magnificent than we ever could have imagined. So this is preparing us for 2024. This is preparing us for November, where there's going to be a lot more and a lot more greatness that comes from it as well. And then December, And then, oh my God. All right, sending you so much love. Feel free to comment in the chat, in the comments, and may this be a glorious, glorious eclipse portal that you move through tomorrow. And please share and let me know how you move through it all. So much love to you. Before we go, take a few deep breaths in with me. Take another deep breath in. And one more. Filling your lungs, filling your body, slowing yourself down. Focusing your energy on your third eye, the point between your brow. Just resting your consciousness there. Inviting yourself to just be quiet and be still and receive the knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing, and playing with exactly what you came to play with, knowing that it was exactly what you would need at this very moment in time to take you to the next level, to upgrade yourself into your truest, most authentic expression, to become a clear vehicle of light, a channel for your true essence. To remember who you are and to enjoy this next part of the journey to its fullest, just as you intended to. Take a couple deep breaths in. You are perfect. Deep breath in. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. My sisters and brothers, you got this. I know who you are. And there is a part of you who knows who you are too and is so excited for you to move through exactly what you're moving through right now. I will be there on the other side, waiting for you, cheering you on, and calling you by your real name. With so much love. Bye for now.